April 9th, 2013, sitting at the North Miami City Hall, 776 Northeast and 125th Street. To begin the meeting this evening, we're gonna call on the Chief of Police for the Pledge of Allegiance. Chief.
Thank you. If everybody can stand up, face the flag, place your right hand over your heart, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. For the invocation this evening, we have Rabbi Abraham.
Honorable Mayor, council members, all my friends here. It's been taught that when you want your prayer to be answered, you should answer other people's prayers. And I know as I came up here, many prayed that this would be short. I will go ahead and honor your prayer, and may God honor our prayer. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has created us, sustained us, and brought us to be together this day. Help us to understand your intent for us as stewards of your creation here in the city of North Miami. Help us to use the gifts you have given each and every one of us to help others, to reduce suffering, and to repair the world. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. And Rabbi, thank you so much for your prayer. And I ask you for a special prayer for all the candidates that are running for office. I just pray for them that, they realize that, there's a lot more to life than running for office. So they realize exactly the kind of position that they are going to be held once they get elected. So as you go back to your temple, just pray for the candidates that are running for office. Okay? Thank you so much. Moving on, Mr. City Clerk.
Mayor Pierre.
Here.
Councilman Marcellus.
Here.
Councilman Blenn.
Here.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sterrill. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum to conduct the business of the people this evening. We're going to move on with special presentations, and I think while we're waiting for the night students to come in, we're going to do the proclamation first. I'm going to ask the City Council along with the City Clerk to come down to present these proclamations to those that are deserving for the month of April. We're going to call on Mr. Rob Collins at Hope to please come forward to accept this proclamation, a proclamation in honor of Fair Housing Month. The City of North Miami is pleased to issue this proclamation in honor of Fair Housing Month. As all of you know, HUD, which has been around for a number of years, but HUD has not been a HUD that we know today. If you recall, about 15, 20 years ago, HUD was discriminating against African Americans, and HUD was actually sued, and they settled with most of the African Americans that were here in the United States because the discrimination was very deeply rooted in a way that African Americans were putting into projects while others were given funding to go to other places and to get houses. I think another thing that just happened recently, I think in Little Haiti, they were discriminating against a lot of African Americans, and again, we see that housing has not been fair in the United States of America, especially here in South Florida. So the City of North Miami is pleased to issue this proclamation in honor of Fair Housing Month. And we are proclaiming April 2013 to be Fair Housing Month in the City of North Miami, and urge all residents to become more aware of and support the fair housing law that was passed initially in 1968. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Collins to let us know and tell us more about, what's going on in the fair housing market. Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause.
So hello, yes, I'm with Housing Opportunities Project for Excellence. My name is Rob Collins, and we fight housing discrimination in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. And as the mayor said, we are fighting discrimination very close to here. Right now, we're filing a lawsuit against somebody. It's definitely very real. We appreciate the city of North Miami's support continuously. Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you very much, council members. We're thankful for this. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's get up here. Get to the center.
Where'd you go to law school?
Thank you. We're going to call on Jordan Nab, which is the Dean of the Marino campus, to come forward to accept this proclamation in honor of National Autism Awareness Month here in the city of North Miami. I'm going to give, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm going to turn the microphone over to you and tell us a little bit more about this disease and how your organization is working forward to make sure that we eliminate the kind of disease in our country. Okay, sure.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Dan Marino and his family and the foundation, I'd like to thank the city for this proclamation in recognition of National Autism Awareness Month. I doubt that there's few of you in the room that haven't been touched by autism or know somebody very close among your circle of friends or family. The CDC recently indicated that 1 out of 88 children now born suffers with autism, and have now talked about lowering that number to 1 in 50. So we continue to fight the battle to figure out the causes of autism and the treatment and how better to intervene when children are young with autism so that they have better outcomes. The Marino Foundation is about to start one of its biggest ventures since the Marino Center up in Weston, Florida, and that is a post-secondary campus in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The Marinos have recognized that many of the children with autism go through school, receive special ed services, and then at the age of 21 or 22 hit a cliff, and there's really no future for them. So we're embarking on building a campus in Fort Lauderdale, and of course inviting members from the local counties to bring their youth up after they graduate from high school and continue on in post-secondary education. So again, thank you very much for the proclamation. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
It's only one of them. Let's go up here. Thank you.
That's all of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I played football 50 years ago.
Okay, we're going to call on Mr. Howard Duperley from WDNA radio station to accept this proclamation in the honor of Jazz Appreciation Month. Let's give him a round of applause. We have our monthly event here, Jazz at Mocha, and I know the month of April and going into May, I know New Orleans and most of our other places are celebrating, jazz around town. So can you tell us a little bit more about, jazz and what's happening around the country?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council members and everyone here. WDNA is a public radio station, and we started back in 1979 in a little trailer, literally in Homestead. And over the years, we've grown to the point where we now own our own building on Coral Way. We've got our own jazz gallery, And in addition to the jazz that we do, we are somewhat of a platform for the community at large. Many arts organizations who might not necessarily have $1 million budget usually come to us for assistance, and we oblige. One of the things that we're extremely proud about is our music scholarship program. Every year we issue full scholarships to students, and this year we're awarding 3 scholarships. As a matter of fact, we'll make that award in about 2 weeks, and we'll be sending students to the Juilliard Jazz Workshop in Utah, and also to the Litchfield Jazz Camp in Connecticut. I could go on and on, but time is short. But what we do is jazz, and speaking of MOCA, we just started an annual agreement with Jazz at MOCA. So all the Jazz at MOCA that's done here on a monthly basis is recorded and is then broadcast on WDNA. It's a partnership that we're extremely proud of, and there are lots of other things that we do, but I encourage you to tune in to 88.9 FM if you want to hear some real jazz. We think it's America's classical music, and we're very proud of it. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you again, council members, for this kind recognition. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The next one we're going to call on Cappy from the Junior Achievement of Miami to receive this proclamation in honor of National Financial Literacy Month. Is Kathy here? Kathy, there you go. Okay. Let's give Kathy a round of applause. Thank you.
Well, I would assume you want me to say just a couple of words. I'd like to thank Mayor and Council for the recognition for National Financial Literacy Month. We, Junior Achievement, have been here in Miami since 1957. Were founded in 1919 and serve over 10 million children across the world. I think 135 different countries. Here in Miami-Dade County, we serve over 25,000 children, and our South Florida headquarters is in North Miami. So we are thrilled with the recognition that you're providing us, and most importantly, the recognition that you're giving the importance of financial literacy. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was good to see you.
Yeah, always good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Luman Claude, the Deputy City Manager for the Adult Education Tuition Program of Miami Senior High School presentation.
I mean,
No.
I guess you're already there. Stay there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Over the years, North Miami has earned the reputation of being a caring and nurturing city that is constantly working to effectively address its residents' concerns. Our leaders value and invest in many initiatives to facilitate North Miami residents staying in school and pursuing educational goals. At the September 10th, 2012 council meeting, our mayor and council recognized how the decrease in state funding for adult education has a direct impact on the adult school enrollment rate, despite the increasing need and demand for education. They agreed to support and allocate a $50,000 grant to fund and implement adult education tuition program for residents enrolling at the North Miami Adult Education Center. At this time, we want to recognize our mayor and council.
At the city, 2 budget workshops for this fiscal year. Several students from the North Miami Adult Education Center stood and spoke about the school. They publicly explained how the change in tuition from a free to all to a nominal fee handicapped them. They expressed, although they were eager, willing, and able to learn, they could not afford to pay for the newly imposed tuition fees. They requested the city attention to this matter, and they requested financial support. Consequently, Mayor Andrew Pierre met with Jean Ridderay, principal of the North Miami Adult Education Center, who validated the student concerns. Mr. Ridderay added how a grant to cover tuition for financially challenged students could reopen the door to many of his best students to return to school and finish their education. Mr. Ridderay, would you please come up front and join the council?
Please stand up.
Together with Mr. Rodori, city staff met with Robert Granato, Administrative Director for School Operations, and Ms. Luby Navarro, Director of Office of Intergovernmental Affairs, Grants Administration and Community Engagement, to work on how to use the city grant to allocate scholarships to North Miami adult students. Our meeting resulted in a series of agreed upon conditions that satisfied the requirements of both institutions, but most importantly, addressed the student needs. Shortly thereafter, an agreement was produced and signed by both parties on January 8th, 2013. Mr. Granado and Ms. Navarro could not be here tonight, but they are represented by Mr. Antonio Martinez, District Director for School Operations. We ask that Mr. Martinez please come to the front.
The North Miami Adult Education Tuition Scholarship Program commences with this school year winter trimester. Scholarship awards are based on financial need after students have been accepted to the school, provided proof of residency, and displayed financial hardship. Currently, our city has assisted 134 adult residents. Those students study English, take basic literacy classes, and prepare for the GED. The scholarship is still available and will support more recipients one trimester at a time. At this point, we invite all the North Miami adult education scholars to stand up. I know it's a lot of you, but I'm inviting you to come to the front, to the dais. Come over. All of you, come over. Oh, tout le monde, nous tous nous mettre venir devant, pour nous camper devant. Tout le monde. Come.
They can just go up here. Congratulations. No matter how you come in there that way. Congratulations. No matter how you come in there. No matter how we was coming there.
Very good job.
Como é muchas lá we probably have avancé. Muchas lá avancé. Yeah, man, there you go. We got muchas lá. We move down there. Push it under the area.
And then we can have the council can come up front. Ask the council to come up front.
No me da idea, too, boco idea.
No me da idea,
There you go. You guys can sit on my chair if you want and get a feel for it.
No, you can't.
It's a hot chair. Hey, guys.
That's a nice shot. You need to get up on top. I'm one of the chairs to take it.
Can the council member come? Can the council member come up front? Everyone's.
You want to roll this over a little more? I'll stick next to you. Okay.
Yes.
My mother.
And of course, the success of these adults is dependent on the assistance and guidance of school administrators, instructors, and teachers. They worked on assessing and addressing the student needs. We would like to ask Ms. Michelle, who's up, Dr. Todd Michelle John, Ms. Ashley Easton, Ms. Fabiola, to please join us to the front. We also would like to invite any other administrator that might be in the room.
So come up. At this moment, let us all welcome Mayor Andre D. Pierre and Mr. Antonio Martinez to the podium to conclude the presentation of the North Miami Adult Education Tuition Scholarship Program for North Miami residents. Mayor Pierre and Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. I mean, since earlier today, I was with your boss, Superintendent Carvalho. We were at Miami-Dade College, Watson campus, doing a presentation on Mayor's Day of Recognition for service members. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Martinez since he is younger than me, so I'm going to let him speak first.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Councilwoman, Councilmen, and women. First of all, I'm very overwhelmed. This is amazing. And again, these are the parents that of our children that are making an effort to continue their education and set an example for their kids. That education is a valuable, valuable commodity. It's an asset that will help this community. As you know, adult literacy is critical and important for economic development. Without educated citizens, it'll be very difficult for us to grow as a community. And you know it's directly related. There's a correlation between education and economic progress. These are employees and future employees of your and consumers of goods and services. So now I want to recognize not only the mayor, but also the principal, Mr. Redoy, for the hard work he put into this. But on behalf of the superintendent, Mr. Cavallo, the school board of Dade County, Mr. Robert Gornto, and my boss, Ms. Valtina Brown, I want to thank the city of Miami, particularly the mayor. I'm sorry, North Miami, my apologies. For the great effort. This is something that is critical and important because, as the mayor indicated earlier, the state has impacted tuition. Without the assistance of our communities, we cannot move forward. It's a challenge for many people to pay tuition and obtain an education. And this is a valuable, valuable thing for our citizens. So again, on behalf of the school board and our bosses,
Thank you so much for the city of North Miami, and hopefully other cities will recognize this and step up to the plate to see if they can do the same thing. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you again, Mr. Martinez. I can tell you there's about 34 municipalities in Miami-Dade County, and I think there's, 6 of them that have a what they call educational compact with Miami-Dade School Board. And the last time I checked, I think, the city of North Miami, I think it's the only one or one of 2 other cities that not only signed a compact, but actually, show us where the money is, and making sure that not only we sign a compact, but we're making sure that we are supporting not only the adults that are willing to get a high school diploma, that are trying to get their GED, that are trying to get learning the language, but we're also supporting our youth in our community, making sure that they are getting scholarship and to go to college. So the city of North Miami is definitely in the forefront in making sure that we are educating the resident in this great city. And as Mr. Martinez just mentioned, there's no other way to do it, because as we educate them, as we help them, basically we produce better workers for those of you who have companies that have that are producing in this great city of North Miami. So again, the accomplishment in terms of education, what we have done in the city of North Miami, and I would like to personally recognize this city council for taking a lead role in making sure that we are successful in stepping out and making sure that we're doing things differently than other cities and the way things have been done in the city of North Miami. So again, thank you to the vision of this council and support of this administration, to our fearless leader, the most progressive city manager that I think we have seen not only in this city but any other cities in this in the state of Florida. You put him, hand-to-hand combat, he'll be the one that would win that fight. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Stephen Johnson for a job well done. Although he's not here to witness, part of his labor, but I'm sure, we'll be able to let him know and show him exactly what happened here tonight. So again, congratulations on receiving these scholarships. Tell your friends, tell your family, it's time to move to the city of North Miami. This is a city that China pretty much, changed, its ways of, educating and helping people, because they realize, the most important asset that you have, it's human beings. And when they did that, it takes them 10 years to pretty much, making sure that everybody get educated. So I hope North Miami continue to do so. Mr. Martinez, Mr. Ridoe, I know we met at night, on Saturdays, on Sundays, and we heard the call, and I'm glad that the city council responded to that, and a job well done again to my council for investing in the future of North Miami. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys, like I participate. Participating important, information is power.
Yes, it is.
Okay? Then nous comme ça qu'a fait la vie pour nous, les nous là de nous ouais, qui nous capable travail, nous participer, okay?
Hopefully we can do this next year. Hopefully next year.
Okay? Merci à vous. Okay? Yeah.
I think it's well done. I knew you were hard on this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. He has 110 degree fever.
110 if he did.
Thank you, sir.
Is that 110?
I don't think 104, 105 is close.
105? Okay. I thought it was 110.
No, 110 you're deceased.
Okay.
They're fit. They have their paper.
Okay. Okay. We are finished. I know there's one add-on that I asked to add to the agenda. Any other things that need to be added to the agenda? Any deletions or
I want to take
amendments?
Yes, C.
Just 1 second, Miss Deputy City Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I would like to pull item C
Okay.
to be heard to the next meeting.
Okay, item C has been pulled and delayed to the next meeting. Okay.
Second that motion that we're
Okay.
continuing it to, what is it, April 26th?
Yes, the
Okay.
second.
23rd?
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, may
Yes.
I ask, is that the city manager's request because he doesn't have enough information, or is it?
The city manager requesting a report on that item,
Mhm.
and he didn't have time to review it, so I pulled the item until
Okay.
that he review it
All right.
Okay.
for the
Mr.
next
Mayor?
meeting.
Yes.
I'd like to also continue item E to the next meeting. The city manager who negotiated this in principle is not here to answer questions this evening. As a result, either we can continue it 2 weeks or I'll just vote it down.
Okay, this is item tab E, which been continued and continued and continued again.
I second that.
It's moved to be continued again. To me, I think, it's time to really resolve the issue. So motion was made, was seconded. Mr. City Clerk, would you do roll call? Because I think, it's been 2 months since this item has
Yeah,
been
but-
continued and over again. I think it's time to be heard. But
Yeah, but
Sure,
the-
no, I
it
get
doesn't
it, but
matter.
I'd
The
love to
city
hear it too,
manager.
but the manager's not here tonight. And
Okay.
so without him here for me to ask questions, I just would rather have.
All right, roll call vote to
It's
request.
really
May
important
I-
the city
Roll-
manager.
I'm sorry.
Roll call vote to,
Mr. City Clerk.
Okay, 1 second. Go
Hold on a
ahead.
minute, please. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know that we have this item for what? Couple of months?
Yes.
From tonight. We have been meeting with the city manager, and I think the last time, what did we continue this item again?
It was continued so they would have an opportunity to address the Oaks issue
And
with the amenities.
Okay.
And they came back and they said, we're going to put $1.7 million to get the amenities done for the Oaks, which I think the Oaks are in agreement. And in addition to that, instead of $80, and I think they offered us $100. I don't know if 2 weeks is gonna be hurting anybody, but Vice Mayor, anything else?
Mr. Mayor, here's my concern. I can care less about this item because I have nothing to do with it, but I'm kind of concerned that the last time it come before us, we continued, from what I remember, that because we did not advertise it and we did not have residents from the Oaks present. And tonight, again, I think that the parties are present, the residents are present, and we have 2 weeks to actually ask our question to the city manager, resolve, or if we have any issues with it. So what we're gonna do, send the residents back home again because that the city manager is not here?
Yes, because
Is
he's the
there
one who
anything
negotiated
that
it.
we needs to know that the city attorney or the Oaks or the iStar cannot answer to us? Because I don't mind that it continued, but I'm just kind of like feeling
Here's my question.
uncomfortable.
I'll ask Dr. Claude, who's the city manager tonight. City Manager Claude, are you ready to answer any and all questions on this item tonight?
I would answer the question to the best of my ability, sir.
Have you read this item and you feel comfortable in answering any and all questions on it?
I would answer the question, and if there is anyone you need more explanation, I will have the staff working on the item to continue giving you more explanation on.
But we're being asked to vote on this tonight, so we can't. If you need more time to answer questions, then we should continue this. If you've read this and you're telling me, I've read this, I'm ready to talk about it, then we're ready to go tonight. Have you read this and you're ready to go tonight?
I read it. You asked the question. I will answer the question. And if you have further question, you need more explanation, I can pull the staff who has worked on it to address, to further address your questions.
I'm ready to talk about this tonight, and I look forward to your answers.
Okay. So you withdraw your motion?
Withdraw my motion to
Okay.
continue.
Your motion has been withdrawn, and the staff that have worked on this issue is it who's the staff that work on this issue?
Yeah, the one working on it.
The staff that's worked on this issue is
Mr. Gannon?
Aline, yeah, Mr.
Aline
Ghani's
is
not here, correct?
and the city attorney.
And
So the
along
city
with
manager
myself, the
and
city
the public
manager.
works director are not here. I'll put
So-
my motion to continue back on the table because nobody's here tonight to talk about.
Well,
Yeah, no, I second it.
well, I can answer
second it.
if you have some legal questions. I'd be happy
My
to
questions
answer.
are not of a legal nature. I would
Okay.
like-
The motion was made, it was second. Mr. City Clerk, go ahead. Would you do roll call for me, please?
Okay, just to be clear, this is a roll call to pull item E from
To the next
the
council
agenda.
meeting.
Continue it to the next meeting.
Mayor Pierre,
No.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Councilman Blend,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril,
Yes.
Councilman Galvin.
Yes.
Item
Okay,
passes.
Tab E has been pulled and will be heard at the next council meeting, which is my last council meeting, members of this great public. You know, I'm going to go back to law practice and make some real money. Is there any other items to be pulled? No more items to be pulled. We're going to move on to special presentation. Is Mr. Kayard in the audience?
He's outside.
He's outside, okay. So while we're waiting for him to get here, can we have American Cancer Society of Miami Relays for Life, presented by Vanessa Pineda. Is Vanessa here?
Yes, he's here.
Okay, welcome. Okay, Vanessa Pineda is not.
She's not here.
Did we put in the consent agenda?
Huh? We're not there yet. We still have special presentation.
Oh, really?
We just set the agenda.
Oh.
They go into the next item.
Okay, can we get, should I move on to the master plan? Okay. All right, Vanessa Pineda.
Oh, thank you.
I'll let the mayor. You want me to let the mayor? Item C, the people over here can be recognized. They were here, but it was pulled.
Good evening, Mayor.
Just
and-
1 second. The people were here on item C, and yes, they were here on item C. We recognize you for being here, but the item will be heard at the next council meeting because the city manager who's been working on this has additional information. So I apologize for bringing you up here tonight, but at least you'll get a chance to see me twice for the month of April. So I'll see you again on April 26th, okay? Thank you so much, okay? Have a good evening.
Thank you for coming.
And enjoy the rest of the month of April. That's a good month. My wife was born in that month. Okay, Miss Pineda.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, North Miami residents, and city staff. My name is Vanessa Pineda. I'm here with the American Cancer Society. I wanted to talk about a little bit Relay for Life. It's American Cancer Society's largest nonprofit global event. On Friday, May 31st, North Miami will be joining efforts with North Miami Beach and Miami Shores to host the Relay for Life event at the North Miami Athletic Stadium, commencing at 6 p.m. and going through noon the next day. Relay for Life is an 18-hour overnight event that signifies a cancer patient's struggle with treatment and what they endured during a treatment session. Mayor and council members, this evening I come to you in need of your help and support to make the city of North Miami's Relay for Life a great event. Just a show of hands, Mayor, council members, audience, with raise of hands, anyone that you know that has been diagnosed with cancer, someone close to you, it might be yourself, it might be a friend, it might be a colleague. The majority of us have been touched by cancer somehow, some way, and we don't even know it. Cancer affects everyone. It doesn't discriminate, no age, no race, no gender. You see, cancer touches everyone's lives, whether you realize it or not. So now I ask you, what is the community of North Miami doing to end the fight against cancer? How can we get the residents, businesses, city staff engaged into advocating and joining efforts to make a difference? together as a community, we can save lives. We need the support of local businesses, social groups, school groups, church groups, leaders, and city officials to come together to lead the way to make this event successful. We ask for the communities of North Miami Beach, Miami Shores, and all the neighboring villages to unite together and to lead this movement of saving more lives and celebrating more birthdays. So I ask from all of you, all residents, everyone that has come together tonight, gather up your family, your friends, colleagues, anyone else that you know that has been affected by cancer or know someone that has been, to make a difference and register today to join our efforts for Relay for Life. By joining, you form a team, and teams have the opportunity to raise funds prior to and at the event. Businesses have also the same opportunity by participating as sponsors through sponsorship amenities, either through monetary or in-kind donations. We also welcome cancer survivors to the event. They are our heroes, and they're the ones who we're going to be commemorating throughout the event. We provide a special survivor dinner where they have the opportunity to bring a guest. So we encourage, it is a free event, and we encourage the community to come out that night and to celebrate hope, life, and to fight back against this disease. So let's keep in mind, North Miami is one of the 10 best cities in the United States, right? And that's true, Mayor Pierre. So, if it's one of the 10 most greatest cities in the United States, why can't we have one of the best Relay for Lives in North Miami? We're having it in the North Miami Athletic Stadium, and there are very, very high competitive events going on in that area. So a lot of eyes are on us because they think that we can't make it through, but I have hope and I have faith that I know we can. There's many efforts that go into putting this event together. So we need to spread the word, we need to educate each other and let everyone know about this effort that we're doing with North Miami and the collaboration that they're having with the American Cancer Society. So our goal as an event is to raise $18,000. That's it. $18,000. That's not much to some people, but for a lot, that it speaks volume, especially when you're trying to raise funds to find a cure for cancer. And I know North Miami strives for excellence, and we can easily raise more than that. So I want to make North Miami known as one of the leading cities of South Florida to help raise the most funds for this cause. We all need to bring our efforts together in North Miami, and we need to bring our efforts together to remain, which they continue to be, one of the top best cities in the United States. So if you're interested, I do have a table out in the atrium with all the information if you want to get involved. Also, visit our website. It's www.relayforlife.org/North Miami FL. Register, form a team, get your family going, get your colleagues going. $1 saves a life. And everyone has been affected by this disease. Everybody, whether you know it or not. You know someone that has been touched by cancer. Again, this is a free event for the community to come out, but we do need the teams to come out. Our goal is to get 30 teams signed up, and our event is on May 31st. Our goal is to raise $18,000. So I ask you to bring your efforts, and we're going to join our efforts with North Miami Beach and Miami Shores as well. And I have faith in this community because I know this community strives. So I thank you, Mayor and Council, and on behalf of the American Cancer Society, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Vanessa, for your wonderful presentation. I can tell you that my team going to raise at least $1,000. So out of the $18,000, $1,000 so far has been raised, and hope we could get some other teams, to do the same thing. You got Mr. Rigo Kaya sitting there. He's probably going to put a team together and raise you some money.
I already have the chief committed to doing a team as well.
There you go. The team is doing,
The police chief.
and not only to raise money, but some activities that we have in at the North Miami Stadium. I would like to get to compete with the chief. Hopefully take him out. And do some heavy lifting with them. So
in true fashion.
Good. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
wonderful presentation, and we can't wait for this event to happen in the great city of North Miami. Appreciate it. Now we're going to turn it over to Mr. Ringo Kayard for his presentation about North Miami Mardi Gras 2014. So the envelope that you gave us, my shirt size is medium. I want to get to medium, but I'm still wearing large. Okay? Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the Commission. I think somebody's missing. And Mr. Manager and the audience, my name is Ringo Kayard, 12801 West Dixie, North Miami. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Mardi Gras. We were scheduled to deliver the business plan in the next 30 days. So we ahead of schedule. So that's why we presented to the mayor and council the business plan, who explain what the Mardi Gras is all about, which everybody knows, but more important, the economic dynamics of the Mardi Gras and what the city could gain. So I don't know if you need like a second or a minute to see that. And enjoy your T-shirt. This is the first T-shirt. You also have a new logo, which is the one here. You also have a domain name, and basically we've done 3 months of work already in the process of the Mardi Gras. We have a new phone number. We have we're moving. We're moving because we want this to be a reality. We want the city to be proud, and I want to be proud. The fact that I'm, basically convincing the city to take the chance and making it happen here, and it will happen. It will happen because the community needs it. The city needs a signature event, and this is the right thing to do for, I would say, for unity in the whole community. So, Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you need a couple of minutes or if you wanted to go.
No, that's fine. I think, we are moving forward in terms of Mardi Gras. I think, there's a few issues that must be resolved, and I'm not sure if this is going to be resolved tonight. One of the issues that must be resolved is where exactly, are we having Mardi Gras 2014?
I have that also over here. We have different alternatives. We met with staff in 2 or 3 occasions. We met personally with also the manager, and we met with the full staff, including park and recreation. There are 3 options on the table right now. Number 1, we could take 135th Street from West Dixie Highway down to Northeast 6th Avenue. That location gives us 2 advantages. You have the school going down to 6th Avenue from West Dixie on your right-hand side. There is a vacant lot which is large enough where you could put a large stand to have a group, a band, because we need about 80 feet, because the stage is 40 and you have 2 sides, 20. We need at least 80. So you could put a stage there. After, of course, the city will negotiate or talk to the school board who own the land. And on the other side, there is a track and field portion of the school, which we could utilize also and put a stage and put, of course, like a blanket or some kind of carpet in order to make sure that we don't damage any of the track and field who've been put there. So that's one issue that we could solve and making it happen there. We also realized that on Sundays, because we talked to the manager's office and to the manager and also staff, we realized that Miami, Dade County per se, has activities every single week for the 52 weeks of the year. The only time I would say which is not a time that we will compete with anyone is the first week of April. And the first week of April also show us after statistics and studies that hotel room it's less than half, because if you go in January, you go in February and March, you will be competing with so many events, including the ING, including boat shows and kayak show, you name it. Hotel rates are almost triple of what we could get them for the first week of April. So that would be a very, very good time to do it. And it's before Lent sometimes, and it's also before Easter sometimes, and sometimes it's right in the middle of Easter. We check, I think in 2014 or 15, it'll be Easter. After that, there will be no, it'll take about 10 years before that will collide with Easter Sunday. So that would be a good time also to do, to make sure we do it and we do it right. The other alternative, Biscayne Boulevard, from 151st to 159, there is nothing there, nothing at all, especially on Sundays. There is a gas station and a car wash on the other side on 151st, and after that you have a couple of trip stops who are closed. We check that on Sundays. You have the courthouse going north, which is closed, and you have the fire, the Miami-Dade fire station, which of course operate, but it won't be a problem. And the next stores that you have are on 159 and 160. So all that area will be also vacant, but it's not exactly in the city of North Miami. That's why the alliance with North Miami Beach is crucial to make it a big event. The other alternative also is on West Dixie. We searched that West Dixie, that would be the perfect venue, from 143rd Street all the way to 159th Street. They only have three places. The FedEx, which is closed on Sunday. You have the rental car, I think it's Budget, which is also closed on Sunday.
Enterprise. Enterprise,
which is closed, and it's basically vacant. That's the perfect venue. Why? You have no stores there, you have no businesses, you have nothing, which means the people who's going to be buying boats and the people who's going to be selling items, they would make double what they would make instead of doing it, for instance, on 135th Street, where you have every single houses. People will just open their door and start selling items, and which is normal. It's the nature of entrepreneurship, especially if you're getting something for free and you have so many people who want something. If they don't do it the first year, believe me, the following year they'll do it. And we need to focus on the route where the route going to stay. Why? Because just like you have Cayocho, it's on Cayocho. You have many events was happening downtown Miami. They know that, I forgot the name. So many events happen in the same place. So we should not be switching place. So also we talked to the city of North Miami Beach, and as you aware, the mayor was there. So is Councilwoman Kramer, which is in charge of arts and culture over there. They're willing to participate, and their understanding is that if they come with 2 cents on the dollar, their return will be 2 cents on the dollar. If they come with half, then they will get half. But I really believe that the city of Miami, of North Miami, will benefit greatly being a joint event with the two cities. So I have the map here, so I'm sure everybody knows the area that we're talking about, but
right.
I have the map just in case.
When do you need this city council to set, one, a date, and two, to set a location? Because I know you out there trying to get sponsorships, talking to vendors, talking to some of the bands, some of them in Argentina, Brazil, Haiti, Trinidad. So when do you need this city to make that decision? Because the council is going to have to make that decision on where and when.
I think the first thing the council need to do is the date, which we really believe that April 6th is the date. The location, we could always do like the next meeting after we talk to North Miami. But the date should be set, so we put it on the internet that the 6th, this is coming. Location to be advised. But the date, April 6th,
So
we
right
talk
now-
to staff. Staff is okay staff is on board with that. We had the meeting. So I think definitely you guys should pass the resolution to have it on the 6th
Okay,
of
so right
April
now you are
2014.
April 2014 on the 6th, on that date, that's what you asking this council to set the date to have Mardi Gras 2014.
Yes, after consultation with staff, which that's what we concluded.
Okay.
With staff.
Okay. Well, let me just move on that. Any Vice Mayor? Any questions? No? Councilman Gavin?
On the event or on the agenda?
On the date that is being requested and recommended by city staff.
No, so far so good. I'm glad to see the progress. I like the logo.
Okay. Councilman Blinn?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm okay with it also.
Okay. Well, can I get a motion to set the date for Mardi Gras 2014 on April 6th?
Move it.
Second.
Has been moved, seconded. Anyone wishes to record a no? Hearing none. April 6th is your date, so on the promotion itself, then you could start moving on with April 6th.
Good.
Now, so at the next council meeting, I would ask that the city, those 3 locations that you just mentioned, that, we get a chance to hear from the members of the public, their input on those 3 locations. Just keep in mind that the West Dixie location you just mentioned, you talk about the city of North Miami, you talk about unincorporated day, then you talk about city of North Miami Beach. So, you're talking about, getting into local agreements, with all 3 cities. And so I don't know if that is, more likely, but I mean, you're the expert, you could work on that issue.
We also have to be concerned about parking. So that's why we spend a lot of time looking at parking possibilities. And 151st Street from Biscayne, right after the railroad, all the way to West Dixie, is completely dead. You have a church who finished pretty early, and on the other side, you have a couple of warehouses which are closed. I really believe that the city should be in communication with North Miami Beach. We should close the street and make that parking area for people. If we do it either on Biscayne or on West Dixie, that alone could generate over $10,000 to city coffer if we could use that street
As parking.
as
$10
parking.
per
Yes.
Okay. I mean, when we get there, we'll cross
Yes.
that bridge, once we set the location.
We have only one concern, a small concern, while we were doing the contract with city attorney. It's what the sponsors are worried, and I include a package in there. It's not a big deal, but the sponsors are concerned about the clause who talk about termination. It's good for me, it's good for the city, but it's not good for the sponsors. Why? Because it says that in 15 days with a notice, consultant, the city could cancel their contract with the consultant. It also says that the consultant could cancel his contract with the cities also within 50 days. So the sponsors say, hey, wait a minute, if I'm going to give $50,000, $20,000, $100,000, and the city for some reason decide like, hey, we don't want to do it, then they're out of the creek, they just lose that money. So they're not too comfortable with that, which is just nothing, because it's going to happen anyway. We're not going to go anywhere. But since that was brought to my attention by two of the people we contacted as sponsors, I say I was going to bring that to the attention to see if there is a way with city attorney.
What do you want us to do in order to make sure that the sponsors are happy? Just take out that clause, or
I
you
think
want
we
to modify?
we could take off the clause. Definitely that has to be amended. But the 15 days, and really when you think about it, it's like the person give you the money, and after 15 days, we announce them there is no event, either because there is something happening, the city change their mind. I think we should secure them more.
Can you get your lawyer to work with the city attorney with the language that is doable? Then it'll be at the next council meeting. Then we could work with the amendments. Okay. I mean, it looks like, of course, I agree. I mean, you're the one that's going to go out there and secure those sponsors. I mean, you know, that it can be terminated. So, okay.
Good. Last thing also, now with the city, with our attorney and the city attorney, the clause 17. Some artists, they would perform and they perform for free. And here it says, if something happened, everything stays for the city. And I don't think it's fair for the new artist or somebody who come with new items to just turn that over to the city. So that also should be amended, you know, the 17.
It's his ownership of the work. Basically, everything that would be happening during Mardi Gras are owned by the city of North Miami or the artist. I mean, he used his own creation to put, you know, his activity together, and so I think it's a disservice to the artist for his own creation for us to be taking what actually came from his mind and the creativity of it. So work with your lawyer along with the city attorney and make a proposal. Then at the next city council we could vote on that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And as again, we are way ahead of our time, and we want to keep being ahead of the time, so we in accordance with the city, and everybody's going to be happy.
Good, no problem.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the council.
Mr. Ringo, it's going to take me a while before I get to a size medium. In the meantime, can I get a large?
We will make sure
that. Thank you so much.
But
I'm still wearing a large. You know, medium is. I want to get there. Oh.
But I just have a question for Mr. Ringo.
Have a small one.
Mr. Ringo.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kayat.
But by the way, these were the first T-shirt we printed, so it's not like to the public. You're free to give it or to do whatever you want. But out of respect, we want to make sure that the fathers of the city were the first one who
I see you got beads back there too. Is that for us?
We have some beads for you guys also.
Okay, give it to members of the public, and we'll take a few more later. I think Councilman Marcellis had a question for you, Mr. Kayat.
Yes. Mr. Kayat, why Greater Miami Mardi Gras?
Because the main corporation is Greater Miami Mardi Gras, and North Miami is a subdivision of Greater Miami Mardi Gras. I mean, everywhere, especially if we're going to party with North Miami Beach, you need an umbrella, which is like Greater Miami. So it could be North Miami Beach, it could be Miami Garden, it could be anywhere. So we covered.
But how is it going to be advertised?
It's going to be advertised.
The Miami Mardi Gras?
The domain is not Miami Mardi Gras. That's the domain name, which is yours. Somebody click not Miami Mardi Gras, boom, it's there. Greater Miami Mardi Gras is the umbrella
under which that, you know,
North Miami is under. So if somebody click, for instance, Greater Miami, or if they click anything to do with Miami, the name will come up, and they're going to route it directly to North Miami. So you guys, you covered, you're safe on that.
Okay.
But I just want the advertising is for North Miami.
Everything will be North Miami, but remember, in case North Miami Beach in case an agreement is reached with North Miami Beach, you cannot just tell them, hey, you're not going to participate on anything. So under North Miami, we will also put North Miami Beach, and whatever city wants to come, they'll come under your umbrella, under you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Carr.
Thank you.
Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to turn it over to the presentation of the Draft Downtown Master Development and Major Corridor Plan by Keith and Snars.
Thank you very much, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Dawn Sonneborn, Director of Planning at Keith and Schnars. This evening I have with me Bruce Reed and Shay Hansen from our Landscape Architecture Department, and then Debbie Love from our Planning Department as well. And we have had the pleasure of working with your outstanding planning, traffic, and economic development staff on this master plan. This is going to be a lot of information in a very brief presentation, so I am going to be going quickly. This is the full team that's been working on the plan so far. But this master plan provides guidelines to implement the vision of the city. And one of the things that we were tasked with early on in the process was to look at all the existing documents of the city to see how the vision had already been established. And the corridors have been established. This map shows all the various corridors that are within the master plan, being 125th, Biscayne Boulevard, West Dixie Highway, 6th Avenue, Northwest 7th Avenue, and Northwest 119th Street. And then it's kind of hard to see on this map, but various parcels that are along that corridor were also defined. Included in the scope for this project was an economic market analysis report that was done early on in the process. And then we had 2 business community workshops, October 25th at the Gwen Margolis Community Center, and then December 19th at the Joe Celestine Center. And we want to thank all the citizens and the business owners that came out to those meetings. They had a wonderful turnout, and people really helped along with that. So one of the things that we noticed in reviewing all of the existing documents within the city was an overarching theme within those existing documents. That was to diversify and strengthen the retail mix that you all have, capitalize on the distinguishing assets, which is your educational and cultural community, and then strengthen the existing niche retail. Transit-oriented design, you want to see that throughout your city. Your documents also want to encourage parks and plazas, pedestrian access along the major corridors. And then promote livable and complete streets. That is a street that is for the cars, for the pedestrians, and for the cyclists. And then continue your business assistance program, the facade improvements that you're doing, and it's moving along so well within the city. And then within the actual document itself, it's a lot of information. I'm going to briefly go over it. Section 1 is the executive summary. That's a summary of the main economic opportunities that we pulled out of the economic report, corridor zoning characteristics, code limitations, and recommendations for some code changes. And then Section 2 is the background and the existing conditions. We looked at all the land use and zoning, the economic foundations, and the retail gap analysis, and those are all reported in Section 2. In Section 3, we looked at the corridor constraints and opportunities. We actually looked at the physical constraints, such as the right-of-ways, how wide are the streets, the median conditions, are there bike lanes, what's the parking light like, and the lighting, how are the crosswalks for the pedestrians, various things like that were the physical constraints and opportunities. And then we looked at the economic constraints and opportunities for each corridor. So those are all reported in there. And then we have some graphics to go along with that. This is an example of a graphic that was prepared for each of the corridors. And it's kind of hard to see on this screen, but this is all the existing conditions, the constraints per each corridor, and then what are the opportunities to improve upon within each of the corridors. So that's in Section 3 as well. And then Section 4 is the overview of the public involvement process that I had mentioned, the 2 meetings. And again, we wanted to thank everyone that came out. We had a lot of plans everywhere, and we had markers, and people were able to mark up all of their ideas on all the aerials for all the corridors, so that was really a great process. We also had a stakeholder preference survey that people filled out to get all of their ideas of what everyone wants to see for the future for each of these corridors in the downtown area. And then we had a whole listening session. We wanted to hear from everyone that was there. And generally, what did we hear that was common for all the corridors? More shade trees, more landscaping, more curbed medians, making it more pedestrian friendly, improve the pedestrian crossings, looking at decorative street lighting and streetscape, more public and plaza areas, and slower traffic and traffic calming. And these all go along with a lot of your existing policy documents to fulfill those documents. And then within the downtown area, everyone realized it had a unique character. They want to create a sense of place and want to see additional mixed use within the downtown. Section 5, we're calling that creating the shared vision. This is where you get into a lot of the graphics that are in the plan. So you have existing plan in sections, so that is looking at an aerial view and then a cross section of what is the existing conditions of each corridor, and then the proposed plan in sections, and that's the recommendations for each of the corridors. This is an example for Northeast 125th Street. We have a gateway feature that we are recommending that a lot of the citizens and the stakeholders had suggested, along with some monument signs as you're entering into the city. We have seen these in the city of Sunrise and Plantation, where it's a joint agreement between the property owner and the city, so you have kind of a welcome to the city along with the Walgreens or whatever business may be there on those corners as you're entering into the city. And then the aerial view will show you suggestions for the various crosswalk areas, creating wider medians, and then we're also introducing for redevelopment areas some code recommendations for build two lines to bring buildings up closer to the sidewalk for the redevelopment areas. This is just a little close-up of the actual gateway feature. And it kind of, we were inspired by the city's starburst in the logo and the colors. So this is what's recommended. And West Dixie Highway, again, we're recommending for redevelopment, mixed use. You'll see residential or office over your commercial and your retail. We're creating a colonnade or an awning space so people have more shade as they are walking up and down the sidewalks. We have it's called a Silva cell tree root system that allows you to have more canopy trees and have that root system within the sidewalk area, and then wider medians and more landscaping. As well with Northeast 6th Avenue, we're looking again at canopy trees and wider medians. With Biscayne Boulevard, again, a little bit more for redevelopment in some of those areas, creating the build two line and creating more median space for more canopy trees and more shade. Northwest 7th Avenue, very similar for all the corridors, creating that green space that people want, more streetscape, more crosswalks that are needed, as well as 119th. Crosswalks in this area are very important because of all the pedestrian activity along 119th. So again, the plan is very detailed with all these types of recommendations for each corridor. Site amenities, we've broken that down between two types, very similar styles but a little bit different. One is for the downtown area and the arts overlay corridors. We have a certain style and a certain color that we're recommending for things as the bike racks, the benches, the trash receptacles, the lighting and things like that. And then we have the commercial corridors outside of the downtown area that are similar in the shapes but a little different style and color. And then for all the corridors, we're looking at shade structures. Again, so the pedestrians want to have more shade within the city, and areas that you can't have a big canopy tree, we're recommending some of these shade structures. We have lots of pictures within the document that shows a lot of examples. And then for the decorative mast arms that you have on your streetlights already, adding some decorative elements to those, which we've seen in other cities. And we list the other cities that they've been working with DOT to get that, and then details on the decorative crosswalks. And what I really want you all to concentrate on is page 5-103. This is probably the most important pages within this plan, because this is what you have to do in order to implement this. And this whole book is a guidebook to help implement the vision for the city. These are the next steps, the very next steps that you all have to take. It's very detailed in stating what they are per each corridor, level of service analysis, working with DOT, access management, to extend medians and provide the block pedestrian crossings. That's a very detailed sheet here. There's a few sheets in here that show you what those next steps are, and it's working with DOT to get the lanes narrowed and the medians widened. And with our experience, we have seen this done with DOT. In the city of Dania Beach, A1A, there's been a designation of a transportation designed for livable communities where they allow you to do this. Complete Streets within Broward County is a huge movement, and we are seeing DOT working with a lot of folks to get that done. Alton Road, we just recently went through some variations within that right-of-way to get more wider medians and larger trees and tree canopy along that road. But I cannot emphasize enough that it takes strong political support. Working with DOT, all the elected officials working closely with DOT and really providing that strong support to get these types of things done, because we have seen it done in other cities. And then this section also has design guidelines, and we're looking at all types of things such as the parking or the building layout, parking, landscape, architectural treatments, massing and scale. There's lots of photographs and samples. So your staff, when you do have developers that want to come in and redevelop within areas of the city that fall along these corridors, you'll have a good guide to show them this is what we're looking for. These are some examples of what, a picture tells 1,000 words, so this is the example. And then again, another very important section, which is the recommendations and implementation. And staff all along the way, they said, tell us how do we do this? Get to the level of even giving us a telephone number of who we call at DOT and who the project managers are. So when it comes to really doing implementation, we've got, some good contacts. So that whole section is steps and priorities to implement a lot of these guidelines. And we've given it a high, low, and medium priority, so it'll assist your staff in knowing where to work first, and as far as the city as well, how you can budget in the future. And that is basically the end, so we will be taking any comments that you have. And again, it's been such a pleasure working with your staff on this.
Well, again, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation, and I think I also want to thank you because I have seen, not just you, but I think the city manager through, along with, I think, Maxine Calloway, finally getting those directional signs. I know that plan has been into place since I got elected back in 2009. At that time, I had hair. And, finally, I see that it's all there. I think there's one other component of that project, which, I think we're still waiting for some of the Obama money to trickle down to the county, and from the county to be coming down to the city of North Miami, which is the NoMi hub. I think initially it was planned to be right in front of the police department. And then from there, the FEC corridor project, I think it's a couple $1 billion project that's coming from West Palm Beach all the way down to downtown Miami. Initially, there were 2 stops that were supposed to be made, one on 125 and one on 151st. Then they changed it only to 125, and I think maybe the hub, can be in one of those locations. And I think, to me, I think we should have at least 1 or 2 hubs, one in downtown and the other one in, whether there be, along with the FEC corridor, whether it be 125 or 151st. So thank you so much. Really, I think the next thing that we need to do, as you said, FDOT has not been cooperating with the city of North Miami. And I remember, I think back in 2007, while I was serving on the Planning Commission, and I'm not sure if it was Councilman Gavin or some other council members, that they wanted to slow down traffic on 125th Street, basically make it more pedestrian friendly, do more like what they have in, is it Las Olas Boulevard? Have a median, plant trees, from downtown, I guess from northeast, from Griffin Boulevard all the way out to 10th Avenue. FDOT said no over my dead body because, when there's a hurricane, cars need to fly out of here quickly, so we're not going to allow you to slow down cars. So those kind of things, I understand when you said, we need some political will to put pressure on FDOT. to do right by the city of North Miami. And I don't understand why it's 125th Street, it's 135th Street. So I agree. You know, I only got 42 more days, so I can't be fighting with FDOT anymore. I'm tired. So hopefully the next mayor and the other city council member will do so. But thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. Councilman Blinn?
No, excellent presentation.
All right. Councilman Marcellus?
I think it's very good. Thank you.
Councilman Galvin?
I want to echo what the mayor said. We long ago, at our own expense, offered to make 125th Street more like Harrison in Hollywood. And narrow traffic lanes, add some landscaping, make it more pedestrian friendly. And they just said, no, we want people to go fast from one point to the next. Additionally, we have new issues, I know you know, here on Dixie and 125th Street, especially for the merchants who are on the north side of the street. So unless FDOT is really serious about having conversations about doing something different, all of this is just a wonderful presentation that will just sit in a binder. So any help you can be in bringing FDOT to the table is appreciated.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is for staff. I want to know if this is the plan that I was waiting for 7th Avenue facade project, or if there's something else that I have to be worried about. This is it? Okay. So if there's a specific page that I have to focus on when it comes to the 7th Avenue facade project, or I have to choose among everything that we see, or you have some suggestions just for 7th Avenue?
Yes, there are exhibits or graphics for each corridor. So
I do have actually the existing plan in section for 7th Avenue, but I was looking for the facade specifically.
If you go to the other pages, it's there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a look at it after that, then I'll call Maxine and we sit down and talk.
Okay, yeah,
Thank
we
you
have
so
the
much for
existing
your
and then we
work.
have what's proposed. And then
No
we have all
problem.
the text in there that explains what's on the graphic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any of your partners, do they want to say anything about this project, or they, no? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, city events announcement, Ms. Pam Solomon.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
When are we voting to set the agenda?
For?
There was an add-on that you wanted to put. I know we voted on continuing C and continuing E, but we didn't vote on the add-on. And I just wanted us to vote on the add-on if we're wrapping up, or are we doing that later?
I'm not sure. Do we need to vote on the add-on?
Well, as you know, Mr. Mayor, when the agenda is closed, anything that you try to add on has to be an emergency of emergency nature and have 4 affirmative votes.
What is it?
According to your code,
When we doing an add-on?
once the agenda is closed, which is the Thursday prior to your council meeting, anything you wish to add on needs to be of an emergency nature and requires 4 affirmative votes. That's in your code.
Ordinance?
No.
We just really, this is the first time that I have ever heard
No,
of it.
it's not the first time you've heard of it.
Okay.
I
Can
don't
you
know.
can you read that relevant portion for me?
Sure. Cool.
Section 2-17, titled Procedures for Preparation of Agenda and the Introduction of Legislation. Any sub C, any items proposed for addition to an agenda for a regular meeting of the City Council shall be of an emergency nature only and must receive 4 affirmative votes of the Mayor and City Council to be added to that meeting's agenda.
Okay, and that was
2-17.
Well, this is add-on that I asked to put on. I make a motion to have this add-on. Can I get a second to the motion to add the request to use a showmobile at the plaza?
I second it for discussion.
Has been seconded for discussion. Okay, discussion is now open on the add-on, and let me just go ahead and read the add-on. The add-on, basically, this is a request from Pastor Jack of Impact Miami Church to utilize the Mocha Plaza, the city showmobile, and sound equipment for the National Day of Prayer, which is scheduled for May 2nd, 2013, from 7 to 9. Pastor Jack is here, he's present, and he had submitted all the documentation to comply with the request. Okay, Vice Mayor?
No, I don't have any issue.
Okay,
with the add-on.
Councilman Garvin?
Sure, I'll save my further comment should this make the agenda, but this is not an emergent situation.
When is the event?
The event is in May 2nd. And I'm uncomfortable with the fact that I didn't even know this was being requested until 90 minutes or 2 hours before this meeting was to take place. There's nothing in the packet that states why this is an emergency, and I would simply ask that we continue this another 2 weeks so that staff would have an opportunity to further explain.
And this is not a staff request, this is my request, so I could explain whatever that needs to be explained regarding this request. Councilman Blinn?
This really won't cost the city much money. It's a very minor thing. It's okay with me.
Okay. Councilman Marsalis?
It's not I'm equal with Councilman Blinn.
Okay. Mr. City Clerk, would you do a roll call in having the add-on?
Mayor Pierre?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Councilman Marsalis?
Yes.
Councilman Blinn?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin?
No.
Okay. The request has been added on. Any other items to be set by the agenda?
Since this item has been added to the agenda, Mr. City Clerk, I'm going to give you some handout information. If you would please provide it to the council at whatever point you feel is appropriate for this item.
Okay, when we get there, we'll address that issue. Ms. Pam Solomon, city events announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and to our audience at home. I'd like to share with you a few highlights of upcoming events here in the city of North Miami. Starting with this week, the North Miami Public Library is pleased to present award-winning poet David Mills performing the works of Langston Hughes in celebration of National Poetry Month. That takes place this Thursday, April 11th at 6:30 p.m. It is a free program at the North Miami Public Library, located at 835 Northeast 132nd Street. It is sponsored by the Oscar Thomas Foundation and the Friends of the North Miami Public Library. And for any of the events that I speak about this evening, you can log on to our website at northmiamifl.gov and look on our community calendar to find out more information. This Friday, we will be hosting a dedication ceremony for our retired police chief, Kenneth Each, as we honor him by dedicating Emerald Drive, code-designating it as Chief Kenneth Each Drive, and that's located just east of Northeast 16th Avenue, adjacent to Johnson & Wales University. That ceremony will take place this Friday, April 12th at 10 a.m. Also, Friday evening at 6 p.m., we have a free outdoor movie night featuring The Odd Life of Timothy Green. That will take place at the First Church of North Miami, located at 1200 Northeast 135th Street. It is a partnership with the City of North Miami and the church to present an evening of family fun under the stars. Hot dogs, popcorn, and treats will be on sale, and we invite you to bring your blankets. Beach chairs and coolers are welcome. The movie does begin at sunset, and for details, you may contact the North Miami Parks and Recreation Department at 305-895-9840. Also, Friday evening at the North Miami Public Library, we're hosting a Meet the Author session with Martha Sakonchek Pytel. She's written a book entitled Baker's Hollover, A Maritime Treasure of History and Pioneers. That is presented by the Friends of the North Miami Public Library, the Greater North Miami Historical Society, as well as the Arch Creek Trust. And the book is a celebration of a forgotten era of maritime history and a tribute to the spirit of its pioneers. The author interviewed over 400 individuals to compile this historical retrospective of the importance of Hollover. Once again, we invite you to the North Miami Public Library this Friday at 6:30 p.m. For additional information, you can contact the library at 305-891-5535. On Saturday, April 20th, we're hosting our North Miami cleanup event, Go Green and Clean Up North Miami. It takes place at the Enchanted Forest at Lane Gordon Park, located at 1725 Northeast 135th Street. We kick off at 8 a.m. with registration, and the cleanup begins at 9 a.m. This year, we will concentrate on a park cleanup and beautification there at the Enchanted Forest Park. It is a fun day for children, and we do offer community service hours to high school students that need those service hours for graduation. You may contact the Parks and Recreation Department for more details at 305-895-9840, or you can also visit our website to download the participation waiver at northmiamifl.gov/celebrate. A few announcements on behalf of the city. First, to our downtown visitors, just an announcement. You may have heard this at a previous council meeting. It was an item pertaining to the booting of vehicles in the Taco Bell parking lot. The Taco Bell parking lot is a private parking lot owned by the restaurant. So if you do park there in that parking lot, we ask that you are patronizing Taco Bell, because if you're patronizing other businesses in the downtown area, your vehicle will get booted, and you will have to pay $30, unfortunately, to have them remove the boot. There is free municipal parking throughout the downtown area, and now it's easier to find those lots because we do have the comprehensive signage program that the mayor alluded to earlier. So there is actually a municipal lot located right across the street from Taco Bell, as well as angled parking and street parking in that area. So just a word of advice to those that are visiting our downtown area. Also, last but not least, our qualifying period ended for the May 14th election. It's come to a close, so just remember, if you are not already a registered voter, in order to vote in the May 14th election, you must register by April 15th. That deadline is coming soon. We do have voter registration materials here in the city clerk's office, located on the first floor. And for all the information on our upcoming elections, including a list of candidates and candidate night forums, you can log on to our website at northmiamifl.gov/vote. That's VOTE. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Ms. City Manager, Acting City Manager, City Projects Update.
I asked the Assistant Public Work Director, Mr. Carrot Fiddler.
But, you know,